everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. My name is Megan and I'm the witch here around the cauldron. In today's video, I'm actually going to be participating in a tag. I was tagged by Trish from Beanbag Hagwag to do this hashtag my magical YouTube journey, I think is what it is. It is 25 questions all about being a witchy or magical creator or YouTuber here on the internet. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Ring the bell if you want to be notified when I post new videos. And other than that, grab your drink of choice and let's get started. So as I said, these are 25 questions. I have them pulled up over here in front of me and I'm just gonna run through them, answer them. Hopefully try not to make this video too long because I can talk and I can ramble. So let's just go ahead and get started. Question number 1 says, what is your channel name and what is the significance behind it? My channel name is Round the Cauldron. Here on YouTube, it looks like Megan Black Round the Cauldron, and that's because there has been at least one time where someone else created a podcast called Round the Cauldron, and they added something else to the end of it, and I just wanted to make sure that I had a distinguishing name here on YouTube to say, like, hey, this is me, Megan Round the Cauldron. There's not really any sort of significance to it. It's just one that I thought sounded cool. Like, hey, you know, we're witches, let's sit around the cauldron and have a chat or have classes or lessons or whatever. So that's basically it. Round the Cauldron denotes community for me because everybody sits around the cauldron, everybody hangs out and talks and listens and things that we do when we hang out and we get together and talk with our friends. Question number 2 says, what type of content do you create on your channel? For example, vlogs, educationals, DIYs, live streams, and so on. So I originally started the channel doing educational stuff. Since then, I have done vlogs, I have done educational content, I have done DIY like walkthroughs. I am playing with the idea of doing a live stream once a month that is like coffee, crochet, and witchcraft. And I just have to find the right day to do that. I don't have that fully fleshed out yet, but I like doing lives where it's not so structured and there's not a lot of things that I have to remember because I lose my train of thought very, very easily. And despite what it looks like online, I don't know if it looks like I'm confident in front of a camera or not, but I do actually get camera shy, especially if I'm in front of a live audience and I can't edit things out. So I kind of do a mix of everything. I don't like to box myself into one type of content because I have ADHD and I bounce around from different ideas and types of videos, and that's just the way my brain works. Question number 3 says, what inspired you to start your channel? I wasn't originally going to do YouTube. I can never remember. No, I think it was the podcast first. I originally started Round the Cauldron as a podcast. And then I was inspired to just try YouTube. I enjoy watching YouTube and I was looking for something else to really do to be creative in that respect and talk to people and meet more people that are into witchcraft or are pagan or different things like that. I think I started YouTube in 2018, a little bit after I started my podcast. And I have been off and on several times. I have taken a few breaks, and that's going to go into another question, I think. I think it was just seeing the creativity that everyone else that I watch on YouTube has when it comes to their channel and being able to express myself in a visual way. And plus, I really like the background of being on YouTube. I love the comments and interactions with the community, but I also love to edit and add music and do those kinds of things to my videos too. I think I'm getting better at telling a story and having a streamlined sort of video process. That's taken me a really long time, but yeah, I think I think that answers the question. Question number 4. Oh, I answered this one already. How long have you been on YouTube as a content creator? I've been on YouTube since 2018. So almost 5 years, because it was the end of 2018. So I've been on YouTube for almost 5 years. Holy crap, that's a long time. I didn't realize it had been that long until I answered this question. Question number 6 says, is there a new style of content that you want to try? And honestly, I'm not sure. I've done live streams in the past, and I do want to get back into doing at least once a month live. That idea hasn't been fully fleshed out yet. I don't think there's anything that I haven't really done. I don't know. I don't know the different types of videos and content that are out there. I just know what I do and I know what I watch. So I think the only thing that I want to explore is the live streams. When it comes to educational DIY type of thing, I think I've done a lot of it. I don't really do a lot of DIYs anymore, because if I'm not casting the spell myself, I understand from an educational perspective, a demonstration is always a good idea. But for me, going through the motions of a spell, if I'm not casting it, is a waste of materials. For me, it's a waste of herbs and candles, and I try to be very mindful of how I use my tools and use the ingredients that I have. And doing a demonstration spell like that while not actually casting the spell, it doesn't do anything for my values as a witch or as a person. So I do plan on continuing DIYs. Just, I have to be in the right mindset, and I have to do the spell myself as well and not just waste the material. Oh, I skipped a question. Question number 5, what are your hobbies outside of your channel? I crochet, I homeschool, I play Pokemon. We go play Pokemon a couple times a week, the trading card game, and we play in tournaments, and it's really, really fun. I am not super competitive. I play it. I told my child that I was going to learn how to play out of spite so that there were more females, more girls, and more women. And I love my deck. I play a Darkrai V-Star deck. For anybody that knows anything about Pokemon, Darkrai is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon. Yeah, those are my hobbies. The next question says, how do you plan out your content? And I actually have a spreadsheet. I love a good spreadsheet. And I have the topic, I have little columns that tell me if I have written the notes, if I have scripted it, filmed it, edited, if it's completed, if it's posted for members or posted for everyone. I keep a running list of video ideas, as well as ideas for podcasts and blog posts and things like that. But everything is on a spreadsheet, and if it's not in my spreadsheet, it is in my Notion quote project binder that is digital that I keep in Notion. Spreadsheets are definitely the way to go for me. And I plan it out weekly. So I think right now I have everything planned out for the rest of the year. And that it does leave room for being inspired to create a different video, because I can just move things around and I'm not stuck with like the calendar in the spreadsheet. But planning everything out also helps when I don't have a current idea, because I'm like, oh, hey, I already wanted to do this, so let's just write the notes for this and script it and film it and do this video. I love a good spreadsheet. Question number 8 says, what are my tools of the trade? So I don't have a camera. I don't use any sort of video camera or vlogging camera. I actually record on my phone, and my phone is the LG Z Fold or something like that. It's the cool one that folds out. Let me put my coffee down. It folds out like this. I would show you, but I'm recording on it right now. I use this to record because I can't afford one of those fancy big ol' cameras right now, which is fine because my phone actually records in 4K and HD, so I don't need a fancy schmancy camera. And I have my phone with me everywhere that I go, so if I get inspired to make a video and I'm not at home, I can do that. The only other thing that I have as far as like physical tools of the trade is my microphone, which my hair keeps hitting. It's just a little, I don't know, what do you call this, a lapel microphone, and it just plugs right into my phone and makes sure that my audio quality is good, because otherwise you would hear the sounds from the fan, because I live in Florida and it's 1,000,000 degrees and it's stupid hot. As far as recording podcasts and stuff, I do have a different microphone. All of that stuff is at my computer though. For editing, I use Filmora, Wondershare Filmora. I do pay for that. I think it's like $52 a year, but it gives me stock footage and all different kinds of effects, and it's really easy to use. And that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't use Epidemic Sound for music. I don't do anything like that. I just use YouTube's music audio library if I add music to my videos or sound effects. I think that's it. Oh, it also asks about lighting. I do have a light. It's not a studio light or anything like that. It's actually like a stand-up, it reminds me of an OT light, but it's really big, and it's for, I mostly see like artists and stuff use it because you can bend it and it can move in different directions. But I'm not using that right now. I'm just using the natural light from my window. It's too hot to use lights in the summertime here in Florida, even if you have an AC. It works whenever I use it. The next question says, as a content creator, do you experience burnout? If so, what does that look like for you and how do you recover from it? So I do experience burnout being a content creator, but I don't think it comes from actually being a creator. My burnout is just, I do so many things and I wear so many hats that sometimes I have to set a hat down. I have to take a hat off. And since YouTube is not my job, I do make money from YouTube, but honestly, it's like 20 bucks a month, if that. YouTube is the hat that has to come off if I need to take a break and start resting and recovering. I have a job. I'm a freelancer. I work basically full-time. I homeschool. I, run my website, and I'm working on courses and audiobook. I do crochet. I have my crochet in a store up in Port Richey, Florida called Gemini Moon Rising. So I don't think my burnout comes directly from creating videos and content for YouTube and my podcast and stuff. I think it just comes from life and the fact that I'm not a person that knows how to rest. So burnout recovery for me involves taking a break from anything that's not necessary to continue my current way of life. So taking a break from YouTube and the podcast and things like that, so that I can rest and recover and recuperate and get my head back on straight, so to speak. For me, burnout looks like exhaustion. It looks like a lack of motivation and inspiration. It looks like depression. It can also, for me, look like jumping back and forth from everything that I'm doing in such a way that I can't actually get anything done. So I feel really, really busy because I'm constantly doing things, but I don't ever feel productive or successful because I'm never actually finishing anything because I don't give myself time to actually finish it, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. The next question says, which video are you the most proud of and why? My answer for this question has absolutely nothing to do with the production value of the video. It has absolutely nothing to do with the views or, how much money it made me or whatever. The videos that I am most proud of, because I can't pick one right now, are any of my videos that deal with mental health. The first one that comes to mind is my Depression Invaded My Garden, because that's a video in which I just put it all out there. I was extremely vulnerable in the fact that depression invaded a space that is sacred to me and basically took it over. The weeds and not being able to grow anything and just letting it lie dormant because I didn't have the energy to go do anything with my garden. I love my garden. But any of the videos that I make about mental health in regard to just life or in regard to witchcraft are videos that I'm extremely proud of, because it takes a lot for me to put myself out there in such a way to be that vulnerable and to talk about mental health and everything that I've been through, that a couple of years ago I probably would have said, no way, I'm not getting that vulnerable on the internet. I'm not going to wipe tears away from my face and try not to cry on the internet. I always told myself I wasn't going to be that person that cried on the internet. I have never fully cried on the internet, but I definitely got really, really close. I'm really proud of those videos where I could express myself in such a way that was also helpful to other people, because that's super important for me. The next question says, who inspires you within the magical/pagan YouTube community? And honestly, I can't just pick one person, because everyone has such an amazing way of expressing themselves and showing their creativity and the parts of themselves that they feel comfortable sharing online, but also real life. I mean, Trish, you are such an inspiration to me because you share your life. I love going to your channel and watching your videos because you show the realness behind being a witch. You show what your altar actually looks like and that it's not always picture perfect. You show the more mundane parts of being a witch, and I absolutely love it. It's such an inspiration because it's not just aesthetically pleasing videos. You know, it's real life. But there's also nothing wrong with aesthetically pleasing videos. Like, I love the witch's cookery. Bex is an amazing person. She's an amazing YouTuber, and she's an amazing witch. So, like, I am inspired by so many people that I couldn't possibly list everybody out right here. I mean, maybe one day I'll figure out how to make all of my, all of the people that I subscribe to public on my channel. I'll have to figure that out. And then everybody can see all of the people that I watch and that I'm inspired by. Yeah, I'll figure that out one day. The next question says, are there any channels that you would recommend? And it's the same thing. I can't possibly list everyone out. There are way too many. I'm subscribed to over 100 people. And for me, like, that's a lot. But I mean, I'm inspired by Trish from Beanbag Hagwag. Bex from The Witch's Cookery is an inspiration, and her videos are so beautiful. Amy from Magical Crafting is an inspiration to me, and we have talked personally, and she's actually given me advice for YouTube. And you know, when someone takes the time to give you advice to help you grow and, you know, maintain a steady, consistent upload, whatever, here on YouTube, that says a lot about the person. And her videos and her art are just gorgeous. And one of these days, I'm gonna get her planner stickers and use them in my journal because I love them so much. Who else? Let's see. Ivy the Occultist. I've learned a lot from Ivy the Occultist. I'm drawing a blank because I feel like I've been put on the spot, even though I could have prepared for this ahead of time, but I didn't. So yeah, I'll leave a list or figure out how to include the people that I'm subscribed to on my channel. I'll figure that out. I'm inspired by everybody. Everybody has something to share. Everybody has something to pass off as inspiration. I think I said that right. Number 13 says, do you believe there are misconceptions about being a magical or pagan YouTuber? I don't know if there are misconceptions. If there are, I don't really know what they are. I have heard, I think it was Olivia, the Witch of Wonderlust, talk about people think that she makes a shit ton of money from YouTube when that's not necessarily the case. So maybe that's a misconception, that, you know, when you get on YouTube and you get the subscribers and the watch count to get monetized, that you immediately start making a bunch of money. That's not true at all. I think last month I made 30 bucks, if that. I don't know. But I guess we'll go with that misconception. Number 14 says, what do you like and dislike about being on YouTube? This is a difficult question because it's complicated. Like, I like being on here. I love making videos for people. I love making videos for myself and seeing them out and seeing my words and my opinions help others or inspire discussion and conversation between people that believe and practice differently. What I don't like about YouTube is the anonymity behind people who think that they can just leave whatever comment that they want and that it's not going to affect the person in the video. I have gotten some strange comments, and I have gotten some really mean comments. And I'm like, what gives you the right to sit there behind your keyboard and talk to a real person like that? We read the comments. I know some people, some bigger YouTubers have stopped reading comments and have stopped responding because there are so many negative Nellies out there who think that it's okay to just type whatever they want and send it off into the world and be okay with that. I have words that are blocked, that if you leave a comment with these words in it, it'll go straight to my comments held for review. And I don't check those very often because if you have used a word that's blocked, then I don't want to read your comment, period. I think that's one of the things that I don't like about being on YouTube. And I don't think that, like, people will say, oh, you put yourself out there for comments and criticism. Well, yeah, I get that. But there's a difference between valid criticism versus someone just being an asshole. Those are two different things. Like, we need less assholes in the world. Number 15 says, what are some of the challenges and struggles you face creating on this platform, and how do you overcome them? I think one of the things that I struggle with is looking at analytics. I don't like to look at my analytics anymore because my brain will latch onto those numbers, and if they're not good, or if a video does bad or anything like that, I get down on myself, and I don't like doing that. So the way that I overcome that is I just try not to look at my analytics. And the other challenge with the ridiculous comments, I overcome that by blocking words and using the block button on YouTube freely. If you leave a comment that isn't constructive, or you leave something really mean or hateful or nasty, you're blocked. And I will not think twice about it. 16 says, what is your opinion on monetization, paywalls, or other exclusive content such as Patreon or other membership services? And my opinion is going to be that they're totally fine. In my opinion, I have a membership service. I had a Patreon at one point, but now I've moved it over to my own membership service. I don't think there's anything wrong with monetization, because if you can make money off of doing what you love or doing something you enjoy, then why not? And with YouTube, it's just ads. People don't have to buy a product from me in order for me to make money. I don't have to sell my soul in order to make money. I can come on here and make my videos and make money just because people watch them. Now, it's not a lot of money, and I know I've said that before, but I don't see anything wrong with monetization at all. Exclusive content such as like exclusive videos or things like that. I mean, my exclusive content isn't anything that is super big, right? I have an exclusive members only podcast that I do every week, and it's on Mondays, but it's nothing super educational. It's nothing that people couldn't find out on their own. It's literally just me putting information into podcast form and putting it out there. My weekly podcast does Pagan and Witchy news from the previous week. It is a collective tarot reading for the week and an astrological forecast for the week, and anything else that I decide to put in there. I'm also in the process of creating some courses for my members, and I know that can be seen as exclusive content, but honestly, the reason that's behind a paywall, and not all of them will be behind a paywall, but the reason that's behind my membership is because those take a lot of time and a lot of effort to put together. And I feel like, at the very least, I deserve to be compensated for my work, you know? And I think that's all I really have to say about monetization and paywalls. Oh, actually, it's not. There are some people out there that will have courses for hundreds and thousands of dollars, and I think that type of thing is ridiculous. I don't think anybody's information is exclusive enough to be worth thousands of dollars. So yeah, I'll leave that one alone. 17 says, do you have any boundaries on this platform? Why or why not? I don't quite understand this question. Boundaries as in, I don't know. One of my boundaries on this platform now is that as my daughter has gotten older, she is no longer going to be in my videos. And that is a boundary that her and I have talked about, and I have talked about it with her dad. And it's something that we have all agreed on. She has been in some of my previous videos, but she will no longer be, like, her face will no longer be in videos. And I think that's a really important thing to do to protect her privacy as she grows up in this digital age where everything is out there online. Boundaries, oh, if you're mean or nasty or leave a hateful comment, my boundary is you're blocked. I have zero time and zero tolerance for that. Those are the only two things that I can think of as far as boundaries. Do I have any current goals for my channel? My goal for the channel has always been to grow the channel, of course, to get information out there and to be consistent with uploading and to help other people. That's the point of the channel, to help people with whatever witchcraft or pagan things that they need help with that I can do, because I don't know everything. But as long as I'm being helpful and people are getting something from the videos that I do, then I consider that a goal achieved. What are some of the mistakes you've made and how did you fix them? So the first thing that came to my mind with this question is in 2019 or 2020, I accidentally uploaded an unedited video, and it was up for like a week before somebody said something to me, and I was so embarrassed. But I mean, there was nothing wrong with the video. It was just unedited, and it showed the full process behind creating a video, the ums and the notes and the what the heck did I just say, and those types of things. And I fixed it by taking that video down and uploading the right one, I guess. That's all I can think of with that. So just a few more questions. I know, God, I've been recording for half an hour already. The next question says, what are some of the ways your channel has grown since your first video? And I mean, I've gained subscribers, I've gained watch time. I don't really understand this question. I've gained a community. There are so many people that I know now because of YouTube. I've gained friends, and it's been really beneficial for me. I've learned so much too, and that has nothing to do with my channel. Have you ever wanted to quit making videos? Why or why not? I don't think so, because I do this because I want to. And if I ever didn't want to anymore, then I wouldn't do it anymore. I don't think I've ever wanted to quit making videos. Now, when I do get into those like spirals of what the heck am I doing and imposter syndrome and all that, then I'm kind of am like, why am I here? Should I quit? Should I keep doing it? But at the end of the day, that's not really me. That is my insecurities and my imposter syndrome. So no, I don't think I've ever wanted to quit making videos. Question 22 says, what do you wish you knew before starting your YouTube channel journey? I wish I knew how much time and effort it actually takes to make a video and edit it and publish it, because it can take so long. Like for right now, I've been recording for about 32 minutes, and it's gonna take me at least that long to edit because I have to go through all of the footage and then get it published, and I do all of my own subtitles and I make all of my own images and all of that stuff. So I wish I knew exactly how long it takes. Would that have deterred me? Probably not, but I would have at least been a little more prepared. Question 23, do you post on any other platforms? I'm on Instagram and Facebook, but Facebook is basically just like sharing the links and stuff for anybody that doesn't have Instagram or isn't in my newsletter. Instagram, yeah, I post on Instagram too, but it generally isn't, I don't know, educational. It's like a photo dump place for me, or when I'm inspired, but I don't want to write a whole blog post. I'll post a picture and write something there. And it's how I talk to a lot of my friends. So I do post there. I also have a newsletter, and I post on my own website. I write a lot of blog posts. I also write for Spells 8, so I have some posts over there and in the forum, and that's all I can think of right now. I'm on TikTok. I post sporadically on TikTok, but nothing that is witchcraft or pagan related. It's just a bunch of BS, if I'm being completely honest. Question number 24 says, do you have any advice for anyone wanting to start a YouTube channel or to create a channel? And my advice would be to just do it. Do it because you want to do it, not because you feel like it's going to make you rich, or not because you feel like you have to. Do it because sitting down in front of a camera and talking, or creating aesthetically pleasing videos, or telling a story is fun for you. If it's not fun for you, then don't do it, because it shouldn't be a chore. It should be something that you enjoy doing and something you look forward to doing. So record a video and post it and see what happens. There's no harm in that. You can always delete it later. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't. You'll never know unless you try. And question number 25 says, who will you tag in this video? And I think I want to tag a couple of larger creators, people that have a bigger following, but also anybody else that wants to do this tag, that is subscribed to me or that sees this video. I consider you tagged if you want to do the video. You're tagged. Tag, you're it. But I think it would be really interesting to hear answers to these questions from some people that have a larger following. So I'm for sure going to tag Bex from The Witch's Cookery. I'm going to tag Olivia, The Witch of Wanderlust. I'm going to tag Amy from Magical Crafting. I'm going to tag Ivy the Occultist. And I'm going to tag Ella Harrison. And I'll tag Benta, the Norse Witch. And anybody else I tag, everybody will be in the description. And that's 25 questions. And hopefully if you made it through this entire video, like, cheers to you, because that's a lot of questions. And I ramble a lot, and I can really, really talk a lot. Yeah, this has been, I guess, advice for anybody that's looking to get on YouTube, or that is looking for some of the behind the scenes of being a YouTuber. And I don't even have a large following. So if I had a larger following, my answers to some of these questions might be different. But yeah, I hope this inspired you to get your channel started if that's something you're interested in, or I hope this gave you a little bit of insight if you've always wondered what my answers to these questions would be. And if you want to do the video, tag me in it so that I can see your answers, because I love hearing other people's answers to questions like this. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Ring the bell so you can be notified of when I post a new video, because YouTube doesn't like to show my subscribers my video notifications for some reason. Follow me on social media, check out my website and my membership program, and join the forum if you're looking for a community. All of those links are going to be in the description, and I will talk to you next time.